Hello, it's me. It's your friend Injuries. I've made another appearance. Did you miss me? I mean, I've taken away most of your starters at this point, and now you're sixth man. You thought I wasn't going to snake bite him? Hamstrings, smamstrings. The Denver Nuggets, they're going through yet another little bit of a lull. And this is not even boom and gloom, Ryan, because we had a whole conversation about you. You're not Mr. Negativity anymore. You're Mr. Objectivity. So this is more about boom and zoom right now. And we're going to talk about all these injuries the Denver Nuggets are facing, talk about how they're going to be able to just work through this very trying period of the season. And maybe Cam Johnson can come back to hopefully help that before the All-Star break, but maybe not. But y'all know what time it is. That's Ryan. This is Swipa. And this is Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Locked On Nuggets. This is your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Swipa, with Ryan Blackburn here today. My friend, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Numbers, as known by both Michael Malone and David Adelman. He is just Mr. Known all throughout the facility. We're going to have a very good discussion today. The Denver Nuggets, unfortunately, are being hit with more injury news. And at this point, 4 to 6 weeks is an additional player in the roster. And so we're just going to get right at home here, talk about something that happened recently to Peyton Watson. But today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. If you're a new customer, bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Ryan Blackburn, my friend, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. It's been a busy couple of days covering the Denver Nuggets. It feels like, okay, now that the trade deadline has passed, we didn't expect Denver to do that much, obviously, and they didn't do that much other than the things that we expected them to do. Now we're kind of getting into that segment where, okay, last week before the All-Star break, let's see if things chill out a little bit. But not for the Nuggets, who are down several players and they are limping, dragging themselves, carrying themselves. They've got like a broken ankle, like a zombie that is twisted behind them trying to get through the finish line, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then apparently Broncos owner Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian in a relationship. Just found that out. That's fascinating. Didn't know that, but hey, good news happening in Denver. Love is in the air.
Not for your boy. So, ladies, I'm single. Come on.
Yeah, man. If you want a guy with great hair and a great reputation in the NBA, Ryan Blackburn is absolutely available. And I don't actually know, I don't know what our numbers are, but if there are people out there, he literally is very well known in the NBA circle. That should count for a lot. That's a lot of clout these days. You actually would be a great Twitch streamer. You need to think about doing that.
I am planning on starting it up and doing some gaming content over the course of sort of post All-Star break and then certainly after the season. That sounds like a fun thing to do.
So we're in a situation now, Ryan. There was a very recent update and it came out a little bit earlier, but obviously, we got Bennett Durando from Denver Post laid it out and said with a minimum of 4 weeks out for Payton Watson due to a hamstring, Payton Watson will be the sixth Nuggets rotation player to miss 3+ weeks consecutively this season, joining Jokic, Gordon, Brown, Johnson, and Jonas Valanciunas.
It's actually worse than that because Aaron Gordon has missed 2 times that in terms of his 3-week stretch. He actually missed 6 weeks. And then Christian Brown has missed 9 weeks. He missed 6 weeks with the first sort of ankle absence and then 3 additional weeks after that. So it's been horrible. This is about as bad as it has ever gotten. And I don't remember the Nuggets being this injured in my life before, especially with the expectations that they have. And so it's been tough, man. They've had to gut it out. And fortunately, they've had a lot of impressive performances from guys that have stepped up, but it takes a lot out of you to do that on a consistent basis. And feels like Denver's kind of regressed back to the mean over the course of the last few games. But then again, what have they done? They've lost to the Detroit Pistons twice, the New York Knicks on the second night of a back-to-back once, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. These are tough games, and shockingly, they've lost them.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about this, Ryan, is this is just because one of the things I noticed in the New York Knicks game, it's not just that they're missing players. If they're putting together these rotations that haven't played together at all, and I think people are like, well, they have a lot of talent on the floor still. Yeah, they do, but it's like where are people supposed to be on the floor? Bruce Brown was playing heavy power forward minutes.
Yeah,
I
have a great stat for you.
Go ahead.
Denver's initial starting lineup, the Murray, Brown, Johnson, Gordon, Jokic lineup, has played 10 total games for the season out of 52. It is by far the second highest minutes lineup on the team. By far. Like the other starting lineup that they had with Jokic, Cam Johnson, Spencer Jones, Peyton Watson, and Jokic, that is by far the highest minutes lineup. But then the second is the lineup that hasn't played since the first 12 games of the year.
Yeah.
It's been 50 games or 40 games since then. And like no lineup has had any continuity even coming close to that over the course of that time. And Denver has really struggled with it. I mean, they've found ways to dig out some of these games, but it's catching up to them. And it's the one thing I'm really worried about beyond health in general. I just don't know if Denver even knows what their identity is right now. They're just scrambling, trying to figure out how to survive during the stretch. They have no idea how to play together yet. And so they're going to take some time in order to do that.
You know, it's so funny, Ryan. Remember in the first, 36 games of the year, I was tracking the how many times the Nuggets have had a lead of 12 or more in those games. And I think I ended it with like 33 out of 38, like something crazy.
Once Jokic went down, it was like, okay, this is kind of moot.
But, I mean, they were off to such a crazy start, bro. Like, they were on pace for 60 games, wins. Like, you know, we kind of remember, I think Matt has set the preseason total like, 54 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we got through 15 games, he was like, nah, 60s for sure to line.
We were, all three of us were universal in terms of, okay, yeah, 60 is on the table. This is a possibility for Denver. And then the injuries just started to mount. And at this point, if they get back to 53, 54, then that's a victory. They're 33-19 right now. And like certainly if they won 60 games, it means they lose 3 for the rest of the season. And that's just not happening. So Denver's got their work cut out for them, and they've got to figure it out. But good news, it gets even tougher when they have to face Chicago tomorrow without any forwards on the roster.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're going to do this. You know, David Adelman has definitely shown a hesitancy to play Zeke Naji and Deron Holmes. But at this point, brother, I'm just kind of like,
it's a requirement.
David, you got to.
Yeah.
You don't have anyone else to play. And especially Holmes, you know, he's definitely, you know, young, and he's not like the most experienced player. He still makes mistakes. His body isn't where you want it to be because he's still very he's very slender. But at some point, you also just need people. Hey, can you get out there and can you be long? Can you be tall? Can you play defense? Can you rebound? Can you hit shots? And I think that would just aid the Denver Nuggets defense so much just to have more length, because right now there's so much pressure being put on Jokic and Murray, and then who the next other biggest person is out there, which is sometimes Spencer Jones, but he obviously went down with an injury. The next biggest nugget was Tim Hardaway, and they're trying to guard like, you know, a very big New York Knicks team. They're getting beat on the offensive glass in overtime against Mitchell Robinson, and even just some of the stuff weak side off shots, they just couldn't seem to get the rebound. And so I just think, man, this team, I want to give them credit. They're battling through it, bro. They're fighting. But
the effort's not a consideration at all. Like that's the thing, is that like, they have had some miscommunications. They've had some times where they've been overwhelmed physically. I don't think it's an effort issue at all. Like this is more like Denver understands this situation. They understand that like they're trying to match up with some of these teams, but they just don't have the physicality and the athleticism that is needed to match up with some of these teams right now. And it's not their fault. Like Jokic coming back from an injury, Christian Brown playing 43 minutes on the second night of a back-to-back, Jokic obviously playing 45. It was ridiculous in that game. And that's a bad decision, and something that, they really tried to go for the win, but I mean, it's hard to tell Jokic no sometimes. So it's going to be tough. And I'm hopeful that the All-Star break gives them the time and the rest necessary in order to kind of straighten some things out. But the fact is that without any forwards that are healthy, without any guys that can do the job, they're always going to be compromised from a size perspective.
Yeah, on the other side, I actually have a question for Ryan. We haven't talked since the game versus the Knicks, and I actually have some questions about you from just some of the stuff Adelman did and how you feel about it in particular. We'll be back for more here at Locked On Nuggets. The season's heating up, and DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season more fun because every player has your bag. With DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked, your gear fresh, and your watch party vibes absolutely on point. There are nights when your team stresses you out. Let DoorDash become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you just need dessert. In the group chat, if it says pull up, DoorDash makes sure you're prepared. Snacks, cups, and even a phone charger for the friend who's always at 2%. So from tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season. Delivered right to your door. DoorDash in your bag all season long. New year, new systems. This is the time when a lot of us look at the messier parts of how we run our business and think there has to be a better way. And there is. Streamlining your communications is one of the quickest upgrades you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Q-U-O, the smarter way to run your business communications. Because when your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. Your whole team can call and text from one shared business number so nothing gets missed. And Quo's smart AI tools automatically log calls, summarize conversations, and highlight next steps so details never slip through the cracks. It's no surprise that Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. Make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo and get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That's QUO.com/LockedOnNBA. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. We'll be back for the second segment here on Locked On Nuggets. And we are back here for the second segment of Locked On Nuggets. Shout out to you all. Hope you're having a stupendous, fabulous, wonderful, marvelous day. And I hope you continue to enjoy all the great content being made here at Locked On Nuggets. Also, the NBA trade deadline, y'all, has come and gone. But make sure you join the Everydayer Club to continue to tap in with your favorite team. If you need a group chat to keep up with and join the chaos, join ours. The Everydayer Club gets you access to group chat on Discord just for Nuggets fans, plus national chats where you can hang out with fans from all across the league. Make sure you tap in with the show notes to continue to learn more. So, Ryan, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I personally, after the game yesterday, I did not feel much blame for Jokic or Murray for the Knicks game. Now, here's why. Jokic missed threes, whatever. That happens. He's shooting 45% on three going into that game. After Jokic had that little slip with his knee, I was just kind of like, I don't know how comfortable he feels in this game in particular, going into the paint and battling constantly.
Yeah.
And then the jumper wasn't falling. So it was a bunch of mistakes all at once. Jamal was 3 of 14 from three himself. That's also not how Jamal plays. Jamal is a very, very, very good pull-up three-point shooter. Just missed him. But David Adelman, he overshot Jokic to 44 minutes played in that game. Christian Brown, in his second game back, played 43 minutes in that
back
game.
to back. It's crazy.
How did you feel about the way Adelman handled that, and would you have done differently if you were him, given that they lost Peyton and Jones in the middle of the game?
It's easy to say that I would have done differently. Like, I think for fans, for media, for anybody that's evaluating the situation from the outside, it's easy to say we would have done it differently. What was funny is Michael Malone at halftime, the halftime show with the Nuggets Knicks game, basically said, I had a lot of issues trying to get Joker to sit.
Yeah.
And he has plenty of experience coaching Joker and understanding what he wants, what the team needs, and things of that nature. I don't think that Christian Braun, the plan was for him to play 43 minutes, obviously. Things got changed because of the double overtime game and, to your point, Peyton Watson and Spencer Jones going down. And so would you rather throw Zeke Naji or Deron Holmes into that situation as a power forward? Like, who are you playing in that situation if not those guys? Honestly, like, maybe he didn't want to throw in Hunter Tyson because Hunter probably knew he was getting traded, probably knew that was something that was on his mind. He didn't necessarily want to put him out there in that situation. So you go with Christian, and then you don't realize the game's going to double overtime. You don't realize that, okay, with Jokic, he was trying to save him the way that he was rotating him, giving him shorter stints for like 3 segments in the first half, 3 segments in the second half. And then you play 2 overtimes and you start to realize, okay, well, we're already past the minutes restriction. So what is the difference really between 35 minutes and 45 minutes if we're already past it? I don't know if I feel any better or worse about it from that perspective. I obviously, like most people, would feel worse given the length of time that was played. I don't know. Like, if Jokic said he felt fine, if he was okay, then I'm not that worried. But like from a competitive standpoint, Murray and Jokic playing as much as they did and shooting as much as they did and failing in terms of hitting threes, you're right. I don't really care about that. I'm not as worried about that.
Yeah, I think for me, man, look, I just feel like the timeline has gotten so detached from what Jokic what he was doing prior to going down with that injury. Remember, that was the 56, 16, and 15 game. It was the 32, 14, and 12 game or whatever it was, or 21 rebounds. I can't remember. I think he had 20 rebounds in that game. I can't remember with the Magic. And then he had 21, 8, and 5 in the first half versus the Heat.
It was dominating, Bam.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, all right, dude, like, you know what I mean? He's in a bag right now.
Yeah.
And then Jokic comes back. I think he has that 31, 12, and 5 game. Everybody's like, oh, like, he's back. He's 100%. And then it's like you watch him, it's like, no, like, he's clearly not. But it's not. I think he just is getting used to, hey, this is my knee. I feel good. But it's also, there's still a little bit of a, you know, there's something there still, but it's not like it's just a pain management thing. I just got to get used to it.
Tentativeness. Like he's still trying to figure out what he can and can't do, what he will feel, what he can't feel. Keep in mind, folks, that the hyperextension or the bone bruise, it's a pain management thing.
Yeah.
And so Jokic probably still feeling some pain. The reason why he's coming back is because he can manage it in a way that was better than maybe some other guys could. But this type of injury and the way that it happened, it was a 4 to 6 week timetable anyway. Yeah. And he came back at the early portion of that. So he's probably not going to feel that good about this until after the All-Star break anyway. This was him trying to come back and give Denver a little bit of a boost. In retrospect, do you think, like, based off of the way these games have gone, do you think he should have waited? Do you think Denver should have taken their time a little bit more?
No, because again, when you have a knee strain, I can't explain it to y'all. It's a comfort thing. It's just like the knee. I don't know, like, you know, when you like wake up, Ryan, and you fell asleep on your arm, and there's like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Feeling.
It's horrible.
It's like that, and there's also like a little bit of management. It's pain, but it's not like a crazy, I can't do anything. It's just like, man, it doesn't feel 100%. And so I just think, like, you just gotta kind of work through it. But the good thing is, Ryan, about this is they have 8 games in February, the remaining in the rest of the year. 8 games the rest of this month.
Yeah. And
they have the All-Star break. So Murray, Jokic, everybody, I think we'll be able to get a little bit of rest. And again, Peyton Watson, I think he'll allow that. This will allow for Peyton to be able to sit and then not have to worry about forcing him back. But look, if we're 4 weeks from now, Ryan, and then today's February 6th, you know, if we get to March 8th or whatever else it is, it's like, all right, Peyton had a whole bunch of time off and he didn't have to play a bunch of games. You know, I just think that the team, hopefully by March, man, everybody's kind of on an upswing. You know, Aaron Gordon gets back, Lord willing, stays healthy. Peyton gets back, stays healthy. Cam Johnson gets back, stayed healthy. And it gives them a month and a half basically to just, okay, let's learn how to play together again and get ready for the playoffs.
That's the hope. And also in that stretch, Denver's starting to get a whole bunch of home games towards the middle to end of March and then into April. There should be plenty of time where they could get together, don't have to travel as much. It'll be a lot of reps. It'll be a lot of opportunities. There are some potential practice opportunities, although not that many. With regard to the game tomorrow night, I'm curious what you would do from a starting lineup, from a rotation perspective. Assume this. Obviously, Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson are out. Let's also assume like the Spencer Jones two-way contract conversion has not happened yet. Like I think Chris Haynes tweeted that it was going to, or that they're in the process of doing it, but there's been nothing official from the team.
Yeah.
Until that happens, he can't play. In addition, he also potentially is in concussion protocol. So like we don't actually know whether he's going to play or not. And then Cam Johnson, let's say he's also out. Hunter Tyson's obviously traded. What do you even do from a rotation standpoint?
I think it's a good question for the other side, so we can have that conversation in depth. We'll get back to that here in segment 3 at Locked On Nuggets. Boo! Y'all know what time it is. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to get in on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Now, whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, this is the game everyone's been waiting for. This is where predictions turn into plays, stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger. It's the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle. Now, if you're a new customer, just bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bet if you win. Make it count. Because after the Super Bowl, the season is over. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started.
Somebody might have pushed the wrong button. My bad.
It's all good, brother. Back here for segment 3 on Locked On Nuggets. And you all, if you ever needed any more reason to root for the Seattle Seahawks, boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, the Empire is not behind the Seahawks. It is officially the side of the rebellion. I am joining Seahawks FC for this game. I hope they win.
Can you believe the Patriot fan reaction to Drake May not winning MVP? Like, it's ridiculous, man. They've been despicable in terms of their fan behavior.
And I do not mean this. I'm like, Bo Nix getting hurt has legitimately ruined so much football discourse and has given Patriots fans so much nonsensical ammunition. That team should not be in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to let that go. They were bad in the AFC Championship. Drake May is sucked in the playoffs, but apparently if you say that, you're being too hard on a young kid. That's crazy. What other sport do we do that with? Everybody else gets held to a standard.
Yeah, Bo Nix gets held to a crazier standard than Drake May at this point. That's for sure.
Oh, my gosh. So on the other side, y'all know what time it is. Ryan, you asked me a good question. My ideal starting lineup in this game, given where we are, bro, it's probably going to be Jamal Murray. Dylon, and Dylon. The 5 best rappers in the world.
You could probably get away with that against the Chicago Bulls since they have 12 guards on their roster or something right now.
So I got Jamal Murray. I think Christian Brown, probably going to end up being Tim Hardaway Jr.
I think you could go with Julian Strawther.
Well, I don't know if Julian's going to start, though. I think Julian's going to come off the bench.
Well, they want to keep Tim off the bench. I think that Tim wants to have a 6-man campaign, if I'm being honest.
So then you can start Julian Strawther, I guess. I'm probably starting Zeke Naji if Richard Jones can't play, and then obviously Jokic.
I'll be curious. Obviously, this all changes if A, Spencer Jones is available in some way, shape, or form, or B, Cam Johnson is available. If Cam Johnson's available, then he starts. Like there's no question about it. Like he might play 20 to 25 minutes, but he'll definitely start. But yeah, I think I agree with you. Zeke is the guy that should be playing in this situation. I've been pretty hard on him over the course of these last couple of weeks because like Denver has been in this compromised situation and David Adelman has not felt a single desire to play him. And like that says a lot about where Zeke is at and where the confidence with the coaching staff is at. So I hope that he could step up in this situation. This is a pretty low stress situation next to Jokic and Murray to have to start in. Like all you have to do is play hard, run the floor, and play some defense. That's it. And so hopefully you can do it.
Is Jalen Pickett going to get the actual start at 2 and Christian Brown at 3? That's what they've been doing basically.
It's not out of the question, obviously. Like, I would personally start Julian and Christian, but I can understand the logic behind having Jalen Pickett start because of what they've done over the course of this last month. I think that they should go with a wing next to their point guard, and then have, if they want to play Jalen, then play him off the bench. Like, there's no reason not to. Like, you don't have to play Bruce Brown as the backup point guard, man. You could play him at the 2.
Yeah, man, this is just a situation. So what is their full rotation going to be? Because now let's build this out. So you got Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Julian Strawther, Zeke Naji, Nikola Jokic, and then Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., Deron Holmes, Jalen Pickett, and then Jonas Valanciunas. That's the 10-man rotation?
Well, I mean, if you've got Pickett in there as well, you named 9. I think. I could be wrong.
Well, I said Julian Strawther in starting and then
off
the bench, Bruce, Pickett, Tim Hardaway Jr., Deron, and Jonas.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. Like, I think that's a perfectly reasonable 10-man rotation for them to go with. If they're worried about the offense, if they're worried about guys like playing or not, like Jokic is probably going to stagger with the second unit again, given the minutes that he's under, and then you play Jokic 6 minutes, then Valanciunas 6 minutes, then Jokic comes back in at the beginning of the second quarter. Like, there's no reason not to at least try that. So we'll see what it looks like. But I do think that Denver, like, they can win against Chicago. They just have to play hard. They have to play with some level of consistency. And
they're going to win this game. They're not winning. They're not losing 4 games in a row.
So here's who Chicago started in their game. They started Anthony Simons, who they traded Nikola Vucevic for. They also started Jaden Ivey, who they acquired in the Kevin Huerter trade that they made. Then they started Isaac Okoro, Matas Buzelis, and Jalen Smith. So it's a talented group in terms of scoring and shooting, but there isn't really a lot of chemistry there. So, and then off the bench, they have Yuki Kawamura, shout out to Yuki, Mac McClung, Lachlan Ulbrich, Patrick Williams, and Gershon Yabusele. So they are undersized, man. And they haven't had Josh Giddey or Trey Jones because of injuries. Whether those guys are back, I don't know. But I mean, there is an opportunity for the Nuggets to win this game from a size perspective. They might even play Jokic and Valanciunas together and play some zone. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
It's Jokic and Jonas versus the Bulls?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I will say Adelman is definitely the type of, like, I'm going to make you play our way, and I'm with that to the degree. It worked versus the Knicks. Those 2 stints they had with Jonas and Jokic, third quarter, fourth quarter actually worked. But I do think he needs to come off you got to play Zeke and Deron. Like, you got to give them some time, especially if the Bulls start hitting threes, brother. That is a perfect Zeke Deron game.
Yeah,
they need to be the bigs off the bench.
100% agree. Like that. What I'm talking about is that has to be a counter. It cannot be the plan. If it's the plan, then that is a bad plan.
Right.
Like you have to find some guys that are willing to just move and be athletic in space, because Jokic is still compromised from a movement perspective with the knee, but also because he's slow. So like they got to figure it out. I want to check in really quick, like as we can, on the Western Conference, because I think that this is something that matters to me, and this is something that should matter to other Nuggets fans as well. The standings in the West are not crazy. The Nuggets are not in a position where things have been bad. Like, Houston has lost so many games, or at least it's felt like they've lost so many games over the course of these last few weeks. And the Spurs, yes, they are probably in the 2 seed right now. Like they are in the 2 seed, but Denver has 19 losses. Houston's got 19. The Lakers have 19. Minnesota's got 20. Suns have 21. Warriors are still like hanging around at 28.
Yeah, they somehow won yesterday on 25 run.
Yeah, so like it does feel to me like Denver, they are close to potentially being in the play-in, but they've also survived reasonably well. And there's no reason why they can't go on a significant run post All-Star break. They just got to get through the final 3 games, man. That's what the Western Conference standings right now are showing to me. Yeah,
I think they win versus the Bulls, and then the game, who they play after that?
They've got 2 home games, one against Cleveland, one against Memphis, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So if they at least just go 2-1 in that stretch and then go into the All-Star break and just kind of like take a breath sigh, because even if they don't, because again, we're supposed to get Cam and CB back. Even if Cam doesn't come back now, Cam comes back on the other side of the All-Star break. Aaron Gordon is in at that point 3 weeks out. Peyton Watson is 2 weeks out, roughly, or whatever. I don't know the exact timeline that's going to be. They just have to find a way, and Spencer Jones will be fully on the roster. They really just need to get 2 of those 4 back.
Yeah,
2 of those 4, I think they'll win the games.
Yeah, they'll like, it's just, you got to find a baseline with those guys, and those guys allow you to play a reasonable way that you do not, like, you don't have to do anything too crazy. Once they get through Chicago, I'm actually very curious to see, does James Harden play for Cleveland, and do they have to face James Harden and Donovan Mitchell with Jared Allen rolling behind Jokic on a consistent basis? That's a tough matchup, man. That one's going to be tough. And then Memphis will be like, that's final game before the All-Star break. Literally anything can happen in those games. So it's going to be tough. Like, nobody is like, Denver's in a very compromised position, but they have also lost 3 games in a row. So you know that they're motivated to get out of it.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode, y'all. That's Ryan. I'm Swiping. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, 185 people watching live, thousands watching after, make sure you like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure also you give us a 5-star review on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify. Y'all know what time it is. This is Locked On Nuggets. See you on the other side.